If you want to win this M24 anti-tank grenade, all you have to do is make sure you comment down below, make sure you guys leave a like on this video, and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you follow those 3 steps, you'll be entered to win this anti-tank grenade in next week's video. Alright guys, this is a very long episode. There's a lot that goes on. Make sure you guys watch the whole thing. Make sure you guys drop a like on this video right now, because we have a complete Mark V tank, and we got 2 A7v tanks coming up the pipeline. And it's just going to be an awesome episode. There's so much I talk about. There's so much progress. And I told you guys, since the last 2 episodes were very lackluster because I was out of town, I had to pre-record both of those. And I know a lot of you guys said there wasn't a lot of progress, and I totally agree with you. Please leave a like on this if you guys think I made up for it. I told you guys in the comment section of those videos that this episode 45 will make up for that. Let me know if I follow through with that promise in the comments down below. Make sure you guys drop a like. Without further ado, let's go on with the video and show you guys how I made a Mark V tank into A7v tanks, the water tower, and many more. Let's do it now. Alright guys, I want to give you an update on the water tower. I've had these 1x1 dark bluish gray cylinder pieces here, these 1x1 bricks that are just round. I've had these sitting here for a while. I've been meaning to work on the water tower, and I finally got around to it. So here's kind of the first prototype of the, I guess, stand you could call it, the scaffolding. Now what I'm thinking is I'm trying to make it so each one of these is square. So the problem is if I shorten this any by, I think 2, 4, 6, 8, if I make it anything less than 8, it's got to be an even number, and that way it's square. Otherwise it's like rectangle, it'll look like that. And the reason I need it square is that way I can do these cross beams that are accurate to the in-game footage. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd really like to be able to do an X as far as a crossbeam goes. For example, like this. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I have a couple ideas that would involve possibly some sticky tack or super glue. But right now, you know, just propping them up like that seems to be working just good. And I could alternate them all the way around. And then obviously these pieces right here, these plates, would be in dark bluish gray, so I got to order those up in a BrickLink order here. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything on the mock for this episode. That way I can order a bunch of parts. So that's kind of what I'm thinking as far as the stand goes. The only problem is it makes it very tall. Like this is very tall in comparison. Like it's almost, it's pretty close. It's probably this high on this mountain, and that might be kind of, you know, I might try going down to 6 tall instead of 8. You know, now that I'm thinking about that, this is pretty freaking tall. Let me try going to 6 tall and see what that looks like. Let me try that real quick. So I started making these instead of 8 bricks tall, 6 bricks tall. So I took 2 off on all of them, and I started assembling this, and that's just not going to work for 2 reasons. One, we would have to shorten this up by 2 studs to accommodate for that. And then still, see how this is going to be a rectangle? If you connect the dots there, that's a rectangle. And that's not what we want, so we'd have to move this over 2 more, once again shortening this even more. And then by that time you're dealing with, if I move this over with one hand possibly, you're dealing with, I believe it would be a 1x6 or a 1x8, a 1x8. And just like, look at that, like that doesn't look like that could support this big of a platform. Just this little, it only spans that much, so that's just not gonna work. So we're gonna have to stick with what we got here. It might be too tall. I'm still trying to think of a way that we can make it shorter. I mean, we can't really shorten this up. This is like the perfect size, at least this water tower, and this isn't really that high. It's only like 2 bricks high. But the other thing is I'm gonna have to look on BrickLink for the top part of this to see if they make a big enough dish. Because if they don't, I'm going to have to brick build it. That's not going to be fun, but it is doable. It's just going to take a little bit of work. And then I also have to order up reddish brown bricks for those. And then some more 1x1 plates to finish that off. And then this will be done. Except for the railing, I might have to order 1 more of these pieces of flex tube. These were sent in by a fan, so thank you. I believe I did an opening on that. I can't remember what episode that was, but I did do a video on that. And so this will be the railing that goes around like this. I might need 1 more. 2 might be able to work, and then these will be for holding this up. So yeah. So I guess the update on the water tower is gotta wait for an order. I'm gonna check BrickLink for that dish. If that's a thing, I'll order that up along with these parts, these in dark bluish gray, so everything's matching. We should have enough of these I believe there's like 200 total there, so we should be good on that. Okay, quick update on the Mark V tank. I'm doing it in dark bluish gray. I believe I did a poll, or I asked you guys to leave me feedback in the comments, and I don't think I checked back, but we're going with dark bluish gray. It's the cheapest color. It's the most readily available color of parts in almost really any part. There's a version of it in dark bluish gray is what I'm trying to say, and it's very easy to get your hands on. So we're going with dark bluish gray. I printed out all the parts list here. Now I went through probably for the past 3 hours, and I had 3 BrickLink sellers that I'm getting parts for the water tower, the 2 ladders, because those never ended up coming in a BrickLink order. The guy never ended up sending me an invoice, so we're getting the ladders to finish off the houses, water tower parts to make those all dark bluish gray, and hopefully finish those up. Some more flex tubing. Let's see, what was the other parts? There's a couple parts to finish up the A7v tanks. We'll talk about those later in the episode, hopefully, or you already talked about them. I don't know how this is going to pan out. And then all the parts for these, or this one Mark V tank. I'm only making one because we're not going to have room on the mock for 2 of them. And then I was able to find all these parts in my collection. So I ordered, I'd say, maybe 40% of the parts. I had about 60% of the parts on hand without, luckily I had about 4 bins of dark bluish gray. They were kind of pre-sorted and had a lot of these in it, and I was able to just kind of grab them. I crossed it off, and as you can see, the only parts that I wasn't able to buy on BrickLink or find in my collection were these 2 wedge plates. I think I'll be able to make something do for those. That should be pretty easy. If not, I can make an order. But all 3 of these sellers are in the US, which is awesome, so we should get all those parts by next week's episode. So what does that mean? That means that this should be done by next episode, so we're really cruising on the tank. It was one of those things I've been procrastinating it, and I'm just like, we got to get it done. It's over here on the vehicles list, so we got to get it done. We got to knock it out. We got to make the finale, episode 55, or that'd be the last episode, then the finale. So we got that done. These I'm going to sit down probably right now and try to figure out how to build the rest of them, and they're very complicated and the instructions aren't the greatest. It's through LDD, so I might try to get the file from him. But yeah guys, we're working on it. We're working through this. Very awesome. I got to go record another video for later in the week, but let's go talk about some more stuff on the mock. Alright guys, so I just got some BrickLink orders in. So all the dark bluish gray parts you see here, these are for the Mark V tank that I'll be building. I should have all the parts in. I'm waiting for one more order tomorrow. This clip is being filmed on Thursday, so hopefully Friday those parts come in. So almost all of these parts here are for the Mark V tank, except for some of these. These are for the water tower, and it's funny because I filmed that one clip that you probably saw already about the water tower saying that I needed to order some of these because I had this made up and I needed to order some dark bluish gray to make a match, and I pre-recorded that one like 5 days ago, and now they're here. So like I told you guys, I promised I'd have a lot in this episode. So we've got a bunch of parts to hopefully build that tank. Some of these parts, like the gears, there's a couple light bluish gray parts in here. These are for the finishing touches on the A7v tanks. Here are those 1x1s I talked about we needed for the water tower. And then these are for making more of those little wooden crates to scatter around the mock. They're really cheap, just 2x4s in reddish brown. So I'm going to transfer all these parts over. I'm going to try to compile all of these and sort through them, put them with the Mark V if they're for the Mark V, water tower parts, A7v parts, and we can start working on the water tower, make some more crates, build some tanks. So let's do that now. Alright guys, I got the last BrickLink order I was talking about. So we got the reddish brown ladder pieces. I got like 5 of them. So we'll be putting those over there in the houses in this episode. Got some more parts for the Mark V tank. As you can see here, some more parts. These are some small Technic parts. It's kind of hard to see through these clear bags. We've got some reddish brown grills, some wrenches, some shovels, all for the detailing. And then we've got some 2x4 reddish brown tiles to go with these 2x4 bricks that I got, so I can make more of these crates. I don't know if you guys knew what I was talking about, but I'm making like these style crates. So very basic, very cheap to make. So I'm gonna go put these ladders on, and I should have all the parts to do the Mark V, so I'm gonna set up and start working on that. Alright guys, so this is what I have so far on the Mark V tank. Once again, it's in all dark bluish gray. Obviously there's some reddish brown components to make it look like there's crates on the back. I believe that's what those are gonna be. I'd say I'm about almost halfway done, maybe 45%, 40% there. And I've been sitting down for maybe an hour. This is actually a pretty tough build because not only I really should have sorted the parts, however, you know, I got some from my Lego collection, I got some from Bricklink orders here. As you can see, I've just tossed the bags down there, and yeah, so I'm just going through with the instructions on my computer here and building this, and I should be able to finish it. My only question is if I'll have the right gears and if I'll have enough track links. I believe I will, but it'll be interesting. I might have to steal some off another tank, which I hate to do it, but you know, for this mock to get done, we just might have to do that. So I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll keep you guys posted, and this video is gonna be very long and compact, so make sure you guys, or very packed full of information and video clips, so make sure you guys leave a like on this video. Alright guys, let's keep working on this. Alright guys, we're gonna be talking about the finished Mark V tank. As you've probably seen clips before this one, I was building this, took me about 3 or 4 hours. Surprisingly a very complicated build. I'd estimate there's probably at least 1,000 pieces in this model, so it's a very large model, and it's a perfect model. Once again, got this from Brian Bricks on YouTube here. This isn't completely finished yet. I'd say it's about 95% done. There's a couple more parts, some tiles and some plates I need to get in, or just find them in my collection. And then like right here, I need to put in a black bar piece. It looks like I'm missing another plate there, but I need to put in a black bar piece to represent a machine gun. I'm going to probably swap out those tan pins so they're gray or something like that to make a match. I've got to get the red stripes there, and then I'm missing a couple over here for the flags. But overall, very awesome tank. I mean, I can show you guys some of the features. So we got some of the side cannons here. We've got the little machine guns represented by antennas. Those are the same on both sides. If you look at the back, we got a crate, shovel, vents, more stuff up top. We got obviously the tracks, which look very nice. Same thing on this side. And I mean, it's just such a great model. It's very heavy. I mean, here's the back side, very sturdy build. And like I said, I probably could have built two pretty easily with the parts I had on hand. And luckily I was able to order, I think 2 orders, and I was able to get all the rest of the parts. So this probably cost me only around $30 to build because I only had to buy like half the parts. So, but overall, perfect size. We're only gonna really have room on the mock for one of these, which is the reason I only built one, and we're not gonna have much time because I'm trying to get this mock series done by episode 55. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this Mark V. I think it looks pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I can't wait to throw some figures next to it, take some cool pictures, and this will look really good in the finale video. We're going to go talk about a couple other things on the mock, so let's do that right now. Alright guys, we're going to be doing the A7v World War I German tanks right now. So what we got is, we've got a whole bunch. Those are loose parts. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of parts, as you can see. And we're going to take all these parts here. We've got everything from plates, tiles, bricks, Technic parts, wedge plates. Some of these are from my personal collection, like you can see. I don't know if you can see these here. Some of these look a little bit used and discolored. That does not matter. It'll add kind of some character to each tank. Like I think these are some of the old gray. And basically we're going to take all these parts right here. We're going to turn them into 2, that's right, 2 A7v tanks. Now technically I do not have all the parts with me. There's a good amount of parts that I have not ordered yet, so I want to start building and see where I can get. So this is probably not going to be the full, like you're not going to see a finished tank by the end of this, but it's going to be very close. So without further ado, let's start the time lapse right now. Alright guys, so I don't know, let's see, 10% of the way there. So we got like the top, I believe this is the top part of the A7v here. Now the instructions are from Brian's Fitzmons. He's on YouTube. He gave the parts list out on these. He has a lot of awesome builds, so if you want to build those, go check him out. However, there are some issues with the builds. Now obviously when you're building in Lego Digital Designer like he is, there's some things that you just don't know because you're not actually physically building it. For example, these two plates here. This one's only held on by 2 studs, and you have these hinge pieces over the top. Now there's actually room to put a tile down to give it that much more structural support. That way it doesn't just want to break off. That way it's much more sturdy. So I put black 2x4 tiles on all of these. Once again, I'm making 2 at once, so we're gonna see how long these parts last. Sorry, I got my charging cable in the way here. We're gonna see how long these last. We've got parts in here that I've sorted out from my own collection. These are all parts I've ordered. We got everything, Technic bricks, lots of plates, detailing pieces. These will hopefully be able to modify these flick fire missile bodies to use for the axles for the wheels, a little bit of a cheaper alternative. We've got some of the cool studs with the holes through the center. So lots of parts here, you know, there's just parts everywhere. So we're gonna try to work on these. Let's see how far we can get. So far, so good. Then I was also able to see that there's a lot that you have to build inside this. And I looked through the whole instructional video, and it's all gonna get covered up by the end because we're putting these side panels on the side. So I thought I'm not gonna waste my time and order light bluish gray 1x16 bricks when I can just use these and you're not even gonna see them. So that's kind of my thinking. Let's keep moving on. All right guys, update on the A7v tanks. This is kind of what we have. I have 2 of these, one's just off camera. This is kind of what we've got so far. So the main shell, and then I was able to make the 2 side panels that really cover all that up, which make it look like the classic A7v. I've just got to work on the back and the front. Very kind of intricate design by Brian on his YouTube channel. It's kind of hard to follow him on LDD, so hopefully he replies to my email. I asked him if I could borrow the LDD file to build this. Hopefully he replies. And then I mentioned that I might need to find a 2x4 slope at like a 33-degree angle. That's for these side pieces. I just use flat tiles. It looks just as fine. I mean, obviously a little bit of curvature would have looked nice, but that's like the one part I told you guys I was worried about not having time to order it. But this is where we're at. We're almost done with these. Hopefully by next episode these will be completely done. I have all the tank treads that should, I mean, I don't know how many there are per side, but I'm making 2 of these, so that's four sides of treads, so that's a lot of treads. I don't know if I have that many, but yeah, so this is the update on the A7v tanks, and I think these are going to look awesome along with the Mark V tank over here. So yeah, let's go talk about some more stuff on the MOC. So I'm adding, or I printed out some more little propaganda posters here that I'm putting up around these houses. I'm still debating if I want to do a house right here or not. I'm thinking I want to do something small. I still want to do a lot of market stuff back here so we can have some battle scenes back here. And then I just put up the ladder here. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but it definitely looks good. It looks more complete. I'm thinking about putting a ladder to get up to this roof here on the back side. Thinking that might look cool. I might have to remove these 2 parts right here, but yeah, got the ladder in finally. That took only like 2 months. That order I had to cancel and I had to reorder it. Then we got the propaganda I'm putting up, finishing up the finishing touches on these 2 buildings, so they're just perfect. This one's basically 100% done. This I've got to work on some more windows, finish putting propaganda up, doing some stuff around it, and we should be good to go. All right guys, update on the water tower. I'm trying to get these flex tubes to work. So what I did was I was able to take the 1x1 reddish brown plates that I got in. I was able to fix those corners. There were some corners that had dark tan ones, these ones right here. So I just replaced those. So everything's reddish brown now. And then I put up these posts to hold up this flex tube. But the problem is they're just short enough where they don't meet when I have these 2. There's just like a little gap there, so I'm trying to figure out how I can attach these together. Now I'm probably gonna have to go make a little or get maybe a piece of wire that's really tight fitting in both of these so I can push them together like that. And I didn't have time to do that in this episode, so we're gonna probably hold that off for episode 46. But this is what it's gonna look like. And then I did get in the dark bluish gray 1x10s or 1x12s and start building the support structure that'll go underneath this. And then we're gonna have to also finish up the top of the water tower itself. But overall, you know, once that's on there, you'll have these surrounding it like this, which is like the perfect height for if you had a sniper sitting up here, he could rest his rifle on the railing. So overall, it's gonna turn out very nicely. We got all the parts. Now I just gotta work on getting these attached, and yeah, so hopefully episode 46 will have an almost complete water tower. So I just wanted to keep you guys posted on the water tower. Alright guys, we're going to be picking the winner from episode 44 of the Sinai Desert for the anti-tank grenade. So let's pick the winner here. 1,
2, and 3. Boom. Edwin and Aaron Lowe, you are doing so well. Love the house. Well, guess what? You won the anti-tank grenade. So make sure you message me here on YouTube through the personal message. If you don't know how to do that, make sure you're on a desktop computer. Go to my channel, the About tab. Then there should be a button that says Send Message. Make sure you send me your full name, full address, and zip code so I can get this out to you. So without further ado, guys, let's wrap up the video right now.
Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching episode 45 of Building the Sinai Desert in Lego. If you want to check out the complete playlist of all the episodes, make sure you guys check it right here. You can watch through all of those. Make sure you guys subscribe by clicking right here. And make sure you guys check out another video right here. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great and fantastic day.